I found a wallet in the forest. It used to tell me stories at night. Ever since I was young, I've had a fear of water. I could never understand the comfort it brings to other people. It feels endless, even when it's clearly contained. Even when you can see where it begins and where it stops. Even when you can feel the bottom of a lake and dig your feet into the soft, sticky mud. It feels heavy, even when you float. It burns your eyes, leaves your body cold, like a corpse. I was the youngest out of 5 kids. Our summers were bland and uneventful. The days merged one into the other, resulting in some hybrid that remained imprinted in my mind as long, soulless breaks between school years. We lived by the sea, and my siblings would always go swimming until their skin wrinkled and softened. I would stand on the shore and watch them until I got bored. That's when I would go for long walks through the woods. I liked to pretend I was the sole survivor of a crash and had to gather supplies, but most of the time I would forget I was playing and end up treasure hunting. I would find rocks, bones, old clothes. My parents never let me keep them. The woods were infinite to me, but a smaller infinite than the sea. They stretched as far as I let them and wouldn't disobey me. If the beach was theirs, the woods were mine. I think that's why I found it. I was the only one truly looking. At first, it blended in with the roots and the dirt. I don't remember how I noticed it, but one minute I was wandering aimlessly, and the next one I was crouched over, studying the worn-out leather. I picked it up. It was lighter than I'd expected. I opened it and found some coins and 2 bills that didn't add up to a lot, and yet I pocketed them. I don't remember the last time I'd felt such pride. I was 11 and it was the first money I'd got my hands on that wasn't given by my parents. The wallet also contained 2 old pictures and a note. The first photograph was of a woman turned away from the camera, and the second was of a child playing. I put the wallet in my pocket and unfolded the note. Dear Austin, beauty fades and rots. It is only the soul that haunts. Don't fear me when I walk behind you. Laurie. I stared at the note. The handwriting was neat, but some letters were too sharp, as if the writer's hand was twitching. I wasn't superstitious, but something in me moved. I suddenly felt very small, very vulnerable in the middle of those woods. I looked up at the branches, then back down, and my shoulders tensed up. Was I being watched? I tamed the pounding in my chest by reminding myself of the money, and how cool I would look in front of my siblings. I don't remember the way back to the beach. In fact, I don't remember much of that day, apart from the wallet and the note. I marched triumphantly to my brother Rob and shoved the wallet into his face. Take a look, I'm not giving you a cent. He took it, turned it over, opened it, took one of the photos out. Where'd you get this, Oliver? In those woods? Yeah, I grinned. Why wasn't he grinning back? Was he jealous? You know those woods are haunted, right? He raised his brows at me. Maybe you shouldn't take what's yours. Yeah, the tree ghost is gonna kill me for stealing their dusty-ass photos. They might kill you, or worse. For a moment, we just stared at each other. His seriousness had spread to me, and by the time his face cracked into a smile, I was genuinely considering giving it back. I'm fucking with you. Good job. First and last note you'll get from a girl. He then threw the wallet back to me and went inside. My other brothers and sisters weren't that impressed. I think I could have gone missing for days, and they wouldn't have cared. I threw it under my bed and went to sleep. I don't remember dreaming anything, and yet I kept waking up, pierced by the feeling that someone was coming, that something would happen. I think Rob's words had scared me more than I liked to admit. When I finally fell into a somewhat deep sleep, I had one dream. I was talking to my mom about my birthday, and she stopped in the middle of the conversation and casually asked me if I knew that someone was under my bed. I don't remember what I responded, and I don't remember the rest of the dream. All I know is that morning finally came, and my fears of someone walking behind me left, scared away by the sun. I took the wallet from under the bed and opened it. The note was the same. Dear Austin, beauty fades and rots. It is only the soul that haunts. Don't fear me when I walk behind you. Laurie. I stared at the writing for the second time. Something was different about it, and yet I couldn't place my finger on it. I shoved it into a drawer and forgot about it until a few nights later. I was laying awake in bed, my wide eyes glued to the ceiling. I kept thinking about the dream and the note. Something was different. Something was different about it. I needed to take a third look and settle it for good. In retrospect, I should have left it in the drawer. I curse 11-year-old me for opening the wallet again and reading the note for the third time, in the dark, alone, barefoot on the cold wooden planks. Curiosity speaks louder than caution, after all. Dear Austin, beauty fades and rots. It is only the soul that haunts. Don't fear me, for I am behind you. Laurie. My heart instantly dropped, leaving my chest to feel empty and as light as paper. The more I remained frozen, the more afraid I grew to turn around. I started gasping for air, and dizziness made it impossible to make out if the heavy breathing I was hearing belonged only to me. After what seemed like decades, I turned around. At that point, I'd completely disassociated. Nothing was there. Just my bed and my closet. It's under the bed. The thought suffocated me. No, it can't be. I won't look. I won't look. I can't. I kneeled. I could barely stand up anyway. I slowly lowered my face, as if something was forcing me, and greeted the darkness with a grimace. Nothing was there. It's in the closet. I stood up, staring straight ahead. The closet stared back at me. There's not enough room for a person in there, but a child could fit in there. My sweaty shirt was sticking to my back. I reached my hand out in the darkness and turned on my lamp. The room instantly became warmer, more welcoming. What an idiot. I should have done that way before. That's the thing with fear. For some, it can sharpen the mind. For others, it dulls the senses and rids them of any rational thinking. I triumphantly swung open the closer door. Nothing was there. My clothes were hung neatly, pants and jackets and shirts. Nothing was there. I let relief wash over me for a good second before I checked the note. It was empty. I turned it over. Nothing was written on it. Absolutely nothing. I checked the photos. They were the same. In all honesty, even if they'd changed, I hadn't studied them well enough to notice. I shoved everything back in the wallet. I wanted to always be able to check it, so I put it under my pillow. This way, I could just turn on the lamp and take it out without emerging from the comfort of my blankets. I didn't sleep at all that night. I kept checking the note, putting it in the wallet and opening it up again, in hopes that it would help. The next night, I had the strangest dream. I was walking on the beach, and for the first time I didn't feel disgusted of the salty waves dancing at my feet. The smell of the sea filled my nostrils. Seagulls played in the distance, or hunted. To me, it seemed like playing. I didn't notice their cries of help, just as I didn't notice, at first, the second pair of steps that was matching my footprints in the sand. I stopped. The walking behind me stopped. I wanted to turn around, but I suddenly heard a voice right behind my ear. Don't. You'll be scared. It was a woman's. At first, I thought it was my mother's. I seemed familiar, cheerful, melodious. Sing to me, I thought. My feet had gone cold from the salty water, but I didn't care. I'm not your mother. Are you the woman in the picture? Are you Laurie? I'm Laurie, yes. Were you? I felt a knot in my throat. Were you behind me? That night, in the room? I can only be behind you. You should always keep your back turned to the dead. On a closer look, I realized I couldn't recognize the beach. It wasn't my beach, and the woman behind me was not my mother. Can I wake up? Please? I'd like to tell you a story first. You like stories. I can tell. Children always do. Her breath smelled like wet stone. If I listen, will you help me wake up? Yes, of course. Her responses seemed rehearsed. As if she'd read my thoughts, she whispered. I sat in those woods for so long, whispering to myself and practicing. Do you know the star spiller? I shook my head. Is he some sort of monster? I'm not scared of them, you know. Just as I'm not scared of you. No, he was not a monster. He was a man, and some would argue that was worse. He did something so wicked once that the world titled in its sleep. He was once a clockmaker. His hands could shove life into broken things, make them twist and turn by themselves. He lived with his loneliness and awaited his death, but a hunger began growing inside of him. One night, when the stars hung low and heavy, pulling down the sky itself, a woman knocked on his door with a watch that seemed to tick backwards and whisper to itself. Her smile stopped the clockmaker in his tracks, and her words came confident and piercing. "Fix it, and I will tell you how to stop the world." The clockmaker agreed, but his heart hoped to outwit the things that come crawling out of the dark. He worked on it, forgot to eat and breathe and bleed. His eyes only saw the watch, his fingers remained curled forever, and in time, the watch began to breathe. When the woman came back for it, the clockmaker's heart had forgotten her. The watch spoke only to him now, and it craved, it wanted, it needed. The clockmaker crushed her skull like a ripe fruit, and the blood found the cracks of the watch just as a key finds a lock. The gears spun so fast they sang. Then the clockmaker tried to turn the clock back, to use it. The thing about time is, it slips. Eye unravels, yes, but not neatly. The clockmaker watched rivers run backwards, beasts crawl, and suns break over the horizon, and he changed. He was no longer someone, but something. He is still out here, spilling the stars, one by one. Listen for him. Her last sentence melted into the sunrise, and I found myself shooting up from the bed, eyes darting from one corner to another. My head felt heavy and my neck stiff. I walked aimlessly around for the whole day, unable to put my finger on the reason why I felt so uneasy. The next night came, and I found myself on the same shore. Her voice came from behind me, her breath sour and wet. "Have you heard of the orchard's keeper? He was a farmer once. Loved his orchard more than anything. Rows of fruit, bright and big and sweet and firm. Love comes hand in hand with greed, and the farmer wanted his fruit brighter and bigger and sweeter. A woman came to him once, and he listened. Bury something precious at the roots, something breathing, and so he did. A rabbit, then a dog, frogs, anything that lived under the sun. The orchard grew, and so did its hunger. His wife's loud mouth was soon stuffed with dirt, and her hair tangled in roots, and after her went the children. Then, the neighbors. The orchard grew hungry, and it didn't care whose flesh fed it. The farmer had nothing else to bury but himself. The roots pulled him deep, into the heart of the earth and then deeper. His glimmering eyes went numb, and his voice was forgotten, but he still grows the orchard from underneath. He feels your very steps in his hollow bones. Another story followed, and another. I would beg the gods to let the day pass swifter, so the night would come and bring another story. Days melted into weeks, and her clear voice seemed to linger even after I woke up. The characters bled into reality, and I began to have day terrors. Night would comfort me, but I couldn't stand to be under the sun. I remember every single story, including the last. Especially the last. Have you heard of the wallet stealer? He was a photographer, the best of the best. He had a camera and a terrible appetite. One day he found a wallet in the dirt and kept it in his pocket. He forgot it, and the wallet grew heavier and heavier until curiosity got the best of him and he pulled it out. He found himself staring at its own beating heart, and something creaked in the distance. Somewhere in the sky, but also deep into my bones. I didn't hear the end of the story because of the banging on my door. I woke up to my mother barging into my room, yelling, "Oliver, who the hell are you talking to? Who are you talking to? What did you do?" "Mom?" "What do you mean? What did I do? Who were you talking to?" I heard this hoarse, awful voice through the door. "Who are you talking to? Is this why you're so tired during the day? What did you do to your hands?" I stared at my bruised and scratched arms, unable to respond. Hoarse voice? I was dreaming, Mum. Number, what's that you're holding? She snatched away the wallet and started looking through it. What is this? I found it in the woods. She read the note, and her eyes widened in terror. Her mouth opened, then closed. She looked up to me, then behind me. Her frown suddenly dissolved, and her face grew sober. Was that concern in her eyes? I understand. Maybe I should keep this to myself. It's hurting you. I instantly calmed down, seeing her smile. Looking back, I realized she did what any rational parent would do and acted like everything was fine. She took me into her room and we watched TV together until the stories faded from my mind and made room for her soft words and warm fingers. Years later, she told me she had seen something in the window behind me but didn't want to scare me. I asked her what the woman looked like and what the note in the wallet said, but she refused to say.